Hey y'all, it's Ben, the hillbilly redneck Buddhist. Got some good news today. President Trump has granted clemency to a lady named Alice Johnson, which is awesome news. Ms. Johnson was serving life in prison, y'all. Life in prison for a first-time nonviolent drug offense. Now, I think that's just insane to me. I don't know the details exactly what she done did, but it seemed like she was some sort of a middleman of some sort. But she got sentenced to life in prison over a first-time offense. Now, I didn't say this before that, I'm totally against the drug war. I just think it's violence. I'm totally against any kind of violence to begin with. I think, resources, you want to spend some resources instead of caging these folks up, you need to rehabilitate them because, drug use ain't nothing but a self-medication. It's usually some sort of, depression or some sort of thing, a mental health issue, I think. When in my younger years now, I done what some people would say I partied, I never touched crack and I never touched heroin, but, pretty much everything I did at least twice. But, I never got popped, through the goodness of the universe. But I don't think I should have ever got in trouble. I never had a substance abuse problem myself, but, some people do. Now, I understand drugs destroy people's lives and it destroys their families. Okay, I understand that. No problem. But here's the thing. You know what else destroys people's lives and people's families? Is getting thrown in prison when they ain't hurt nobody but themselves. Now, it ain't no victim, ain't no crime, So I'm just totally against that drug war, and I'm so happy for Alice Johnson and her whole family, because she done did 21 years. 21 years. We're not talking about violent criminals at all. These people are just, most time they just got in a bad situation, Like Miss Johnson there, I was reading a little bit about her. I don't know much at all about it. I didn't even know about it, really. I don't keep up with the Kardashians, so to speak. But I know Kim Kardashian, props to her, as you're going to say, that, she's the one who got her, got on the president there to get her out, Miss Johnson. But apparently Miss Johnson done fell on some hard times, lost her job, and needed to, take care of her family, and just got mixed up in the wrong sort of business, But she didn't hurt nobody. I believe it was her first offense of anything. And just life and breath, that's just wrong. We need to help people, not put them in a cage, And I won't get in the industrial prison complex or anything like that at this point. But when you're trading, people in cages on the stock exchange, something's wrong with you. But anyway, so I got to come back to the fella I've been talking about, Matthew Charles. Now, it's time for President Trump to grant clemency. It ain't a pardon. It's granting clemency, I reckon, to this fella Matthew Charles. And we'll leave description down there below. Now, Mr. Charles and Ms. Johnson got a lot in common there as far as they were nonviolent drug offenders, but they're also model prisoners. And see, here's the deal about Mr. Charles is he was done out for 2 years. 2 years, y'all, that he was out of prison, and he's not a burden on society at all. He's an asset, right? Miss Johnson, she was like a model prisoner doing a lot of the same things Mr. Charles was, helping other prisoners, doing stuff like that. She done this, Miss Johnson, she done wrote, directed plays. She was like a choreographer doing all this helpful stuff in prison. Now, Mr. Charles was out of prison for 2 years. 2 years, y'all. And, like I said, he had a job. He was totally back with his family. He was volunteering. It ain't no sense. Hell, it ain't no sense economically to have this fella as a tax burden, He could be out there helping people. He helps people. Ain't no sense in him being in prison. Hopefully, President Trump will come around and grant clemency to Mr. Charles there. But I do, I reckon I want to thank him for getting Ms. Johnson out of there. And, man, I hope Matthew Charles is next, y'all. I really hope. Anyway, my name's Ben. I'm a hillbilly. I'm a redneck. I'm a Buddhist. And I love absolutely everyone. I love you. Peace.